Alright, it's time. We need to fix the college football playoff system, and today, we're going to do just that. In this video, I'm going to discuss some of the biggest problems that the current college football playoff system has, and how it can potentially solve them. Let's go ahead and dive right in. This past weekend, the College Football Playoff Committee released their final rankings for the 2023 season, and they were extremely controversial. A lot of people were really upset because the committee left out Florida State, who went 13-0 and won the ACC championship. Instead of putting Florida State in the playoff, the committee went with Alabama and Texas, who both had great seasons but were not undefeated. Florida State not making the playoff was a huge moment for college football because it displayed a lot of the issues that our current system has. Now, next season the playoff is set to expand, and that will solve some problems, but it will also probably create others. Let's go ahead and talk about 3 issues that the current playoff system has, and a few solutions that could possibly make the system a lot better. Let's start with the committee itself. In my opinion, I think it would be great if we could get rid of the committee. It is just weird to have a select group of people who get to choose who gets into the playoff and who doesn't. That's odd, and that's not how any other sport works. Now, I understand that this is not possible. The committee isn't going anywhere, it's here to stay, so we just have to deal with it. However, I do think there are ways to improve upon the committee, and one way we can do that is by making it bigger. Right now, the committee has 13 members, and I think that's too small. I think the committee needs to expand. I would like to see the committee add a few members and just get a wider variety of opinions. That alone would make it a lot better. Another major issue with the committee is that there are people in it who are actively involved with schools. For example, one of the committee members, Mitch Barnhart, is the athletic director for Kentucky. The fact that the committee members are actively involved in different universities is insane to me. I mean, this is a clear example of conflict of interest, is it not? If it were up to me, one of the requirements for being a committee member would be that you are not actively involved with a school. For the committee to be the best it can be, its members have to be objective, and I'm just not sure how that's possible if they're actively involved in different schools. One final issue that I have with the committee is the demographics. When you look at who's on the committee, it's a lot of older white men, there are a few black men, and there's one woman, but I think the demographics could change a little bit. I think it would be great if the committee added some younger people. I think that is a huge issue. I'd also like to see the committee add a few more women, add some more black people. I think the committee would be significantly better if it included a wider range of opinions from people who are from different backgrounds. The next problem I have with the playoff system is the criteria. The criteria that the committee uses to choose teams needs to be much clearer than it is right now. I'm not exactly sure how the committee comes up with their rankings. I know they have a website with their criteria on it, but they're not super transparent about it, and they're not consistent with it in their rankings. I just want to know, are they basing their rankings off their own opinions? Are they using numbers at all? Who knows? I completely understand that making rankings is hard. It's not easy, and it's impossible for college to have a system like the NFL because there are so many teams at the FBS level. There are so many different conferences, not every team plays the same caliber of schedule. It's hard, and I get that. However, I think the current criteria is way too arbitrary. It's way too subjective for my taste. Now, me personally, I'd like to see the committee use more data to come up with their rankings. I have my own ranking system that uses 2 stats from ESPN, that's strength of record and FPI. Strength of record measures how impressive each team's record is based on the teams that they play, and FPI measures how good each team is. It's basically a power ranking system. My ranking system is heavily weighted towards teams' resumes, so it cares more about which teams are most deserving. However, my system is a mixture of raw resume and team strength. As you can see, the final rankings for my system were Michigan number 1, Washington number 2, Alabama number 3, Florida State number 4, and on the outside looking in you had Ohio State number 5 and Texas number 6. In my ranking system, Alabama got in at number 3 because they rank 4th in strength of record and 5th in FPI, and Florida State got in at number 4 because they rank 3rd in strength of record and 11th in FPI. Unfortunately for Texas, they didn't have a good enough raw resume and they weren't quite good enough as a team to crack my top 4. I would love to see the committee use a system like this that is weighted heavily towards the raw resume. And you know what? I wouldn't mind if the committee didn't want to strictly follow the numbers. Let's say they wanted to reward Florida State for going undefeated and winning the ACC championship. I would be fine if they ranked Florida State at number 3. And then let's say they wanted to reward Texas for having the head-to-head victory over Alabama earlier this season. If that's the case, I would be completely fine if they ranked Texas over Alabama and had Texas at number 4 or even number 3. I think Alabama has a better total resume than Texas. However, Texas did beat Alabama. The Longhorns earned a playoff spot on the field, and them being ranked ahead of Alabama is fine. I just have a huge issue with Florida State not making it, and I think the committee would have put them in if they would have followed a ranking system like my own. The next issue I want to talk about is the field, and how many teams are included in the playoff. Now, me personally, I don't have a huge issue with the number of teams that are included in the playoff right now. I think 4 teams is fine. I don't see a huge issue with that. I know a lot of people would disagree, but I think that a 4-team playoff makes the regular season matter a lot, and it makes the playoff extremely exclusive, which I think is a good thing. However, I also understand that expansion is inevitable. It's happening, whether I want it to or not. Next season, the playoff is likely expanding to 12 teams, and I think that is too much, especially right at the beginning. If expansion is gonna happen no matter what, I would like for it to take baby steps. I would like to see the playoff field expand from 4 to 6 teams, and then maybe from 6 teams to 8 teams if necessary. Going from 4 teams to 12 teams is a huge jump and is way too big in my opinion. I think a 6-team playoff is actually perfect, and I think that's a good compromise between people who want to stay at 4 teams and people who want to expand to 12 teams. The reason I like a 6-team format is that in that system, you can reward teams for going undefeated, for winning a conference championship, but you can also give teams a chance who messed up late in the season but are still clearly one of the best teams in the country. With a 6-team format, you can do that, and there's still a little bit of exclusivity, which I want to keep in college football. I just don't want a 3-loss team or a group of 5 team who didn't play anybody to compete for a national championship. I don't want that at all. Well, there you have it. Those were 3 issues that I think the current playoff system has, and a few solutions that I think could fix those. Go to the comment section down below and let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm an idiot? Tell me, I want to know, genuinely. Thank you for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did like it, leave a like and subscribe so you never miss an upload.